Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to another EVE Online video. And well, in the last few videos we have been testing out the Gila a little bit, and I got a decent amount of comments from newer players and alpha clones that showed a lot of interest in the Gila and its capabilities as an explorer, especially for the highsec combat sites. And I don't blame them. It's an absolutely amazing ship for that will probably end up being the workhorse for alpha clone explorers if they want to earn plex or if they want to earn injectors and things like that. Now, I would always warn you not to go all out. Don't treat this as a job, but if like me you really enjoy exploration, then this is absolutely a great ship to try and earn some isquid. And for that reason, in this video I want to talk a little bit about how I run my exploration outside of the combat sites themselves, and try to give you guys a couple of tips that might just shave off a few seconds, give you a bit more efficiency when it comes to actively exploring. So the first one is a tip that I got from Johnny Pugh, very handy. Always try to have 16 probes with you. So you can see that I have 8 probes in the cargo bay and 8 probes in my launcher. The reason is that if I start exploring for the signature here in the Tal, there you go, the auto reload will grab 8 probes, and I can just use them in the next system right away. Another tip that I'm still learning myself, but that I definitely think can help you save a little bit of time as well, is to always warp to the next gate within 0. While you're warping, you can activate the map and you can start your scanning. In the high chance that you don't find anything of real value in the system, and if you're flying the Gila like me, you want to focus on 3 and 4 out of 10s, then that's actually pretty damn likely. You'll just again save a little bit of time after you're done scanning. So let's get started on this scan, and maybe you've noticed it there. I have changed my habit as well when it comes to how I move my probes around. This one is not from Johnny Pugh, but actually from watching the live stream from Marky Dragon. So I used to always move with the arrows like this, and then I would go on a horizontal view, and then I would adapt those 2 axes as well with the arrows. Actually rather inefficient. If we do a quick analysis of this, we'll probably need to move a little bit as well. What works a little bit better, it's just a few less clicks and just a bit more intuitive. You just grab the middle and I move it right on top of the signature. Grab the middle and do that as well. And instead of having to do 3 clicks and drags, which the further away the signature is from the center of your probes, the more time it takes. You're just a little bit faster, and it's definitely very helpful as well. So that's just a wormhole. Of course, we are going to move to the next system. Don't forget to call your probes back. This is the reason why I personally am keeping the cargo hold always open, because it's my quick check to see if, okay, I've got my 16 probes, I can move on to the next system. If you ever forget those probes, you can always get back to the system and then use the arrow here, reconnect to lost probes. You'll just find them again on the map itself. So here again in Chunka, what I do is I move a little bit so that I'm not out of cloak, drop my probes, warp within 0 to the next gate, and then we can get started on the scanning here. If you expect to find something, of course, or potentially, that's another tip that I can give you, is that if you feel comfortable enough in your ship, you can also run anomalies in those while you're scanning. That is an alternative, of course, but doing it like this will basically shave off the time it takes to warp to the next gate off of your exploration cycle. So let's take a look at what's happening in this system. Chunka historically, by historically I mean from my experience over my days, weeks and months exploring in this region, this has been a very good system to find 4 out of 10s. And that looked like a pretty large signature, so who knows, it's also a combat site. So we're going to go 2 smaller. We are right on top of it. Let's take a look at what it is. It would be really great to find a nice signature this early. There's only one other person in local as well, so that's great. It's unfortunately a Sasha watch. I don't think that is worth it to go and run that. And so again here, just go a little bit larger so that you're comfortable with it, and just drag towards the signature. You're just right on top of it a little bit more quickly. That's definitely something, when I noticed it on my Marky Dragon stream, that's how he moves his probes. That actually looks a lot faster than the way I do it. That is pretty awesome. And this is something that I've been working on myself. So that's just a relic site. Let's close this one and let's move to the next system. What I used to do was just start scanning and probing on the first gate. Here we got rid of another warp. Next one, it's just a drone cluster, but let's assume for a moment that that it would be something like a refuge, which can potentially escalate to a 3 out of 10 and can also get you some faction loot. Another option, of course, is to just warp straight to that anomaly while you're doing your scanning. You do need to be comfortable in your ship and feel pretty safe that you'll be able to tank whatever it is that gets thrown at you, because you will, of course, get in the side without actually seeing too much happening. But in this Gila now I do feel comfortable enough. That's an interesting looking combat site. And so again, just grab the center and drag those probes right on top of your signature. This probably won't be good, but we'll see. Yeah, just a desolate site, and this one is very likely to be the top signature. So here again, I feel like this is a lot faster than using the arrows. There's a Splinter Alvi. Let's see if my infiltrators can actually handle those guys just like that. That's just an unstable wormhole. And then again for the last one, just drag towards the target. What I like to do here in this situation, for instance, it's a signature, but there's also a planet nearby. That's often a sign that you'll find something near to that planet. So that one was just blown up. And if you have the same situation here, except you're in a refuge, you can potentially get a faction drop and an escalation to a 3 out of 10, which is of course exactly what we're hunting for right now. Gotta go up a little bit, press analyze, and we'll get some nice improvements. In the meantime, nothing too special here, so I'm just gonna wait. That's just a data site, unfortunately. So let's bring this back home. And of course, here in this situation, we're not on the next gate, but potentially you can, of course, have some good loots in the right anomalies. And they really don't like my own drones, so they're going after them. I actually like the light show here. So we'll see if those guys can get blown up as well. Then we'll go to the next system, and that's where we'll finish the videos. But those were mainly my... well, we'll just move on now, I think. We're not going to endlessly keep going in a site that doesn't potentially yield anything. But those are my 3 tips. Number 1, try to take 16 probes. It's a bit more expensive, but you save on the reload time. Keep the cargo bay open so that you know when you've got your 16 probes with you. Next up, try to warp to the next gate right after you dropped your probes. It's another warp saved. And then while you're scanning, do try to drag the probes right on top of the signatures rather than using the arrows. You're gonna be that more efficient. Let's do this in the final system in Dira here. Let's take a look at that. Maybe we'll find something good. Probably not. It's a system with ice, and from my experience, a little bit too busy to find anything great, but who knows, we may be lucky. If not, I hope that this can help some prospective explorers, some newer players out there, and help you feel a bit more efficient with your time. So let's... Oh, actually that's a mistake. First we drop the probes, then we warp to Dital, then we start scanning, and again just drag the middle, move them right on top of the probes, check for the height. It's not very usual for signatures to be that low compared to the horizon, so I feel better about staying right near the horizon. And then the big one is CFV. Who knows, we'll see what we can find. I'm mostly interested in that one. So again, just drag and move. It's a bit faster. It's not as accurate as with the probes, especially when you find your signatures on the outside of your range. Sometimes you do want to move horizontally, and actually the axis also moves a little bit vertically. So here, for instance, right, you think it's only a vertical movement, but you also slightly move horizontally. But I still feel like this is more efficient than using the arrows. I'll show that to you guys in a moment, how I used to do this. So let's try to scan this one down. It's a difficult one. If it shows combat now, it could be good. Otherwise, it's probably a data cache. Yeah, it's a relic site actually. So what I used to do here, assuming that it's going to be over here, was just move myself down a little bit. And then I would use the arrows. But you can see that I would need quite a bit more to get right on top of the signature, because it's decently far away from where the probes are at the moment. Just grabbing and dragging is more efficient for sure. And that's just a desolate site, unfortunately. So there we go, guys. I am actually going to move on to Isisama and do another route there. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much. Oh, that's actually where I wanted to go. Okay, misclicked on the warp. That is one habit that I'm still working on, actually, is grab that warp after I put down the probes. That's something that I'm not in the habit of doing just yet, but will save me a little bit of time in my exploration. Hope this can help some newer players out there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.